Well, see, this debate is always there with us. Should we have a passive fund included in the portfolio as a part of our asset allocation? In which way a passive fund can enhance the investor's experience and the overall return of the portfolio? We are all keen to know about this, and to present about this particular topic, we have with us Mr. Saugata Chatterjee from Nippon India. He is going to share how we can, as MFDs, incorporate passive funds to enhance investor experience and also to provide them better results. Okay, over to you, Mr. Saugata Chatterjee.
Thank you. So, good evening, friends. Yeah, so good evening, friends. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk. I would really thank IFA Galaxy. It's always a pleasure, interacting with all of y'all. I was just chatting with Babu just a couple of minutes back that, I still remember vividly the Mahabalipuram morning event, which when I had to just rush from Chennai, conduct the first session. And I was really privileged to have the first session that day. And, it was great to interact with all of you all. But then now we are in a virtual space. And congratulations, Babu, Shobna, and of course, Mr. Narayanan to have held this event. I think discipline comes in every aspect of our life. What we find that you all are disciplined to hold these events every year, and that's really commendable, so I would like to just share with all of our friends, what is in it for all of us on the business side when it comes to passive funds. I was hearing my friend Karan talking about, how to build a legacy, what should be the way forward. I think this is what I'm trying to now, carry the mantle from what Karan has left, saying that what is in it for us in the business side when we look at our journey from here on, and passive funds, something which is getting debated, discussed, read, but are we practicing it? That's the thing which one has to keep in mind. And hence my, talk in the next 10 to 15 minutes time will be towards probably making this journey as a, start of this journey can happen from IFA Galaxy itself. Um, so moving on. One second. Yeah. So I'll just quickly give a recap as to what's happening globally. I think it's important for us to understand what's happening, globally, because the asset management business is pretty large. And if you take the global perspective, what this slide exhibits is index funds and ETFs have become very large globally. To the extent we have, the updated data as of a year back, which shows that 51 trillion dollars is the global AUM under assets, and out of that, almost 11 trillion comes from passives. So one can imagine 20% of the global assets are currently into passives, which is ever growing. And if you see the trend line from 2015 onwards, the growth has been very, very robust. And this is where the opportunity is now coming up in our industry, which is very, very, I would say, still young, though it is a 25-year-old industry, but technically 10 to 15 years is a journey which we have all seen and a business and have built businesses in the last 10, 15 years. Let's take what's happening in the US. This is the market which we track very closely when it comes to, talking about markets, talking about economies, talking about impact to domestic markets, fund flows, etc. Please see how is the trend line shaping up in US. Very clearly, what's coming up is the passive AUM. There too is pretty large. It's almost $8 trillion. And what is very interesting, and I was hearing some sessions which were parallelly happening on the in the CII summit today, that how the trigger of passives have been happening globally and of course in India too. Just keep an eye on 2008, the downturn which has happened, and from 2008 the trigger towards capturing the ETFs and the passive funds have become very sharp in US. Likewise, this is the phenomena which we are seeing now after the last year's downturn which happened because of COVID exactly around this time last year. And we have been able to witness a sharp movement of the passives and the ETFs in our country. So every trigger of a global crisis or a global market sort of downturn ensures that the passive and the ETFs starts moving up, because that is the time when investors are looking for opportunities to participate in wider markets. And the other part of the fund management piece is trying to gather their putting their house in order to look at the next leg of growth. That's where the passives and the ETFs start progressing, and they keep building their assets, and the trend line is clearly evident in front of us. And this is a very important thing in how the divide has happened in US in the last 10-12 years. The ETFs and passive funds have been getting net flows, and the active funds have been losing assets. A sort of indication is happening in our country also. One has to keep a very close eye around that. Hence, we are, as AMC guys in Nippon, we are trying to talk about passive very passionately. Another data point, why should one not look at this category very intensely? If you take the top 25 holdings of the US stock exchanges, ETFs are 5 to 7 of the ETFs are having the top rankings as stocks in those 25 companies in the US exchanges. What it says that the size and the scale of these entities have become so large that they are able to hold top 25 in form of turnover and market cap, and that's a large sort of a standing one is able to get when it comes from a US market perspective. Finally, why are these passive funds gaining popularity? As I just touched upon, whenever there is a crisis, whenever there is a sort of a rebound of the economy or a resurgence of the economy or a relook at the way the things are going to look at, the trend line clearly shows that these market participating ideas, so-called market participating ideas, when I say are the ETFs and the passive funds, start gaining traction. And of late, we have also seen that in India, how it has worked. We have been debating about that, discussing about that, how polarization has resulted in certain parts of the market gaining traction, maybe in the large cap space, something on the next large cap space. And many of the fund managers are not been able to capture those trends because it's difficult sometimes to, to sort of benchmark yourself to your fund to the benchmark and start capturing trends, because you have sector limitations, you have stock limitations, but index does not have those limitations. And that's the reason why in US markets, this chart clearly shows that in the near term, which may be 1, 3, 5 years, the passives actually beat the active fund managers, and these are all decent data which is being shown to you. The longer period you stay, probably the mid caps and the small caps do sort of beat the benchmarks, but the large caps and the large and the sort of large and mid caps, they sort of are lagging behind the passive funds. And these are data points, actual data points, which are tracked on a real-time basis. So how is the state of affairs here in our country? As we know, out of the entire 32 lakh crores of assets what we have, almost 10% is now under ETFs and passive funds. So 2.7 lakh crores is in the ETF side, and another 15,000 crores, only 15,000 crores is in index funds. So let's now visualize what is the opportunity scale, how we can increase from here on. And why are we talking about this category at this point in time? Please see the chart post 2017. 50,000 crores was the asset under management in our industry. This has now moved to 2.7 lakh crores. 5 times jump in 3 years, almost 3 years. This is a big jump, friends. Let's not lose an eye on this category. Investors are reading a lot, investors are studying a lot, investors have got a lot of inputs which they keep getting from various sources. Market participation is always important and we should not lose an eye on that. Let's take the pure index funds. One side are the ETFs. I'm sure there are questions coming in our mind that how do we participate in ETFs? Friends, there are vehicles in which you can get into these strategies through index funds. Also, index funds see the growth. In March 2019, it was 5,000 crores. Now it has become 15,000 crores. And this chart will keep, compounding, and the growth will keep moving higher and higher, I'm sure, in the times to come. So 3 times the size in almost 1.5 years. The things are coming in front of us. It is hitting us in front of us, and hence we need to be part of that space. Now, what is the reason? I did mention to you that passive funds, ETFs, do beat the active fund guys, etc., etc. That's the debate which keeps going on. I am not here to bring the debate on the table. I am here to share about how passive funds are different. Why should it be a part of your core asset allocation? Now, these are the benefits of passive funds. Please note, one side is the reduction of the risk. Because you are participating in the market, you are getting a diversification. You are able to participate across various companies in those indices. You are automatically de-risking, and as someone knows how the indexes work, they automatically reset the weightages depending on the market caps of those stocks. The second part, broad diversification, which I did mention, it's across. And also the concentration risk, which someone carries, or some fund manager will have a view on certain ideas. Market does not have a view. Market goes as per the wisdom of the entire universe, which is more wiser than individuals at any point in time. Benefits from expert opinion, as I mentioned, large scale participation, large width of the spectrum you are able to get, and hence you are able to get the benefit of the experts of the market rather than having individual experts driving your opinions towards allocation. And finally, of course, asset allocation. Gone are the days where you can just look at a straightforward formula of equity, debt, gold to some extent. Within that, the basket has now enlarged, and index funds and passive funds should be part of the asset allocation strategy to give you de-risking, to give you wide scale participation, to give you global participation, to give you various areas of participation for the investor from an investor point of view. One myth I would like to just break. It's not that the passive funds or the ETFs are only skewed towards probably a nifty product, or a small or some part of a Bharat bond someone hears, or some other product which keeps coming on the news flow. It is all diversified. If you see the spectrum of the assets which are there in the industry, it is becoming more and more diversified. What it means that opportunities are coming up, and we have to keep participating in those opportunities. I'll just skip this slide. Just to sort of give another dimension. Actively managing a long-term portfolio with ETFs is very, very essential, because the market dynamics helps you to capture various themes, opportunities, and stay long term. One did not get into moving from one sector to another sector, trying to identify which fund manager is capturing this part of the growth story, that part of the story which is defensive. everything starts getting in a sort of encompassed in the portfolios, and hence you are able to get the participation very, very robustly in the client's portfolio. How does one increase and how does one participate in this journey? I think these are my final slides. Too many questions which I keep answering. We had to convince our team first in the last 1 year. We are trying to talk to all of you all through various forums, various multiple things. I think these are basic questions which keep coming. Will I get remuneration? Will I be able to give the right funds? Where do I get this opportunity? I think as AMC, as Nippon India AMC, we are trying to get the vehicles and the highways right for you so that you can ride your vehicle and give the customer the right experience. Um, Finally, the growth story. Let's not challenge the growth story, because if assets under management right now is only 7 to 8% of the mutual fund AUM, this can definitely go towards 20%. Assuming that our industry, and this industry will definitely become a 50 lakh industry in the next 5 7 years. Imagine 20% is 10 lakh crores. Should we participate? Should we not participate? I leave it to you all to put a thought to that. We as an AMC give you the entire basket. Why I'm showing this chart, not to talk about our funds, but to just remove that thought process that ETFs means only few ideas. It is across. You see this chart, it is filled across fixed income, equity, commodity, domestic, global, thematic, sector, everything you can get. And what is the vehicle? This is the vehicle. This is my final slide. All our partners on the call, I would urge, look at passive funds. What we have done as an AMC, we are the leaders on the ETF space. What we did very promptly, and to help all our partners, we have started building passive index funds and passive funds on as wrappers on the ETFs. What it means that there are two plans always available at any point in time. You can give your investor a regular plan. The TRs are definitely competitive, whether we are direct plan TR which is there, where your investor probably is trying to nibble into a direct plan. You can always pitch these products. You have a long-term revenue trail, which is very important, and the investors are getting the best of the ideas at any point in time. So we are as an AMC, and I'm sure many AMCs will start talking about these ideas in the market. Vehicles are being made. This is the start of the new journey of passive funds in our country. And I'm sure as we go and talk every year, this can be a very, very scalable opportunity for all of us. With this, I would like to just finally give you this pitch. Look at asset allocation. Look at passive funds as your new journey towards asset allocation. Change your portfolio mix. And I would be very happy, if the current portfolio mix, which is in the left-hand side, starts moving in the right-hand side direction, and you will get better risk-adjusted returns to be for your investor from a long-term perspective. With this, I would like to end my conversation. I think I'll be happy to take Q&A.
Couple of questions. One is Sirish Chandra has this question. Do you think the expense ratio of index funds being low allow mutual fund distributors to operate it profitably? Or let me frame it differently. How can we mutual fund distributors distribute passive funds as well as be profitable? So what would be the strategy that you would kind of?
Yeah, very much. I think, Babu, that is the if one has observed my last slide, second last slide, which is what we are trying to communicate. See, what is remuneration? Remuneration is living with the investors' investment for long term. Previous speakers have spoken about 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. Imagine a case if one is participating through these passive funds, through index funds. We have already made the vehicle where there are two plans. There's a distributor plan. There's a direct plan. So definitely you will get your incentive and your commissions. Can this be long term? This will be long term for sure. Now the long term will come when someone starts making it as part of your core asset allocation. Once you make this ideas as part of an asset allocation with the goal of the investor in mind, the longer they stay and markets are here to multiply, compound. The compounding impact will give you a larger revenue stream, which you can get over long periods of time. So in your mathematics of revenue making, there will be the active part, which will definitely give you a higher impetus on revenue. This part probably will give you a sort of a slightly lesser flow, but this will give you long-term sustainable, participation in the revenue stream and remaining with the lifetime of the investor, which is very important today.
Absolutely. This is has a question. As we speak, can you enlighten us what is the distribution of how passive funds have been taken from national distributors, national distribution of banks, distributors, and the direct channel? Do you have any broad idea?
Very much,
Saugata?
Babu. The way we are passionate about this category, of course, we do a lot of data mining, but I can confidently say, friends, this is an IFA forum, it is an MFD forum. I was totally surprised. I'll just give you some very, very real-time analogies. From August 2020 gone by till now, we have launched 4 passive funds in the industry. 80% of the contribution has come from MFDs. Now, this is the biggest sort of shift which I'm saying. Yeah, it really requires an applause. Why I'm saying that is because once you start ingraining and understanding the various nuances of this product and the various sort of opportunities one can get by participating in various parts of this index spectrum, the distributors, the MFD friends of ours are going and actually getting the mandates from the investors. And give you another positive. The average ticket size of passive funds are more than currently are more than the equity fund allocation which comes to us. So what it means that when you are doing a right selling, when you are sitting with the investor and making him understand it is something good for you, I also will earn out of that, but something which I am able to give you participation from a long term, he is able to write a bigger check. Bigger check means bigger revenue for long term. That is the thing. Period.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said, well said. Uh, so one question from Rajshekhar says, we are a complex economy. How close are our indices to reflect the reflection is the real economy, if the real performance of the real economy is a question. I don't know whether this is within the ambit of what we are talking, but his pointer is, and I think I'm just guessing this from what he's asking, is that is index really a reflection of the economic performance of the country, or is there a disconnect? Especially in COVID times, we saw that the markets ran up far ahead of the economy. Economy is actually just limping back slowly, but the market seems to have run up ahead. In that context, I think that's the context of question.
Yeah,
If you
so
can,
Babu, I get the
if you can
drift.
throw some
See,
light, Saugata, on that.
yeah. So just to make it very simple, I'll just take 3 parts. One is there is a Nifty 50. There is
Saugata,
a
am I audible?
yeah. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Yeah. So there are 3 parts to the entire market. Let's dissect what is the market all about. There is a top 100 companies, which is the Nifty 50 and the next 50. There is a next lot of 150 companies, which is the mid cap. There is a next lot of companies, 250. The entire 500 companies actually are 97% of the market cap of India. Now, if one is able to participate in the entire market cap of India by giving a single check or 3 checks also, whatever is your question about is the market a reflection of the economy, gets automatically captured real time because the indexes keep changing the weightages of the companies depending on the collective wisdom of the market, which is much wiser than the individual wisdom. please note that you are getting this. It's a very thing. You know, Hanumanji went and picked up the entire mountain instead of getting a small jari booty. He was not able to get that. That medicine which was asked to him to pick up. He collected the entire thing, a mountain, and gave it in the hands of Ram. So that is what it is. You know, you are getting the entire market. Market is economy. You know, everything is economy. But if you are participating in the entire spectrum, then you are getting the economic, benefit of economy. Hence, indices are big and they are becoming bigger by the day. As we go deeper, I'm sure with Rajshekhar and others, we can have more discussion on the various opportunities within the indices which are available in India, which gives you that real-time participation.
Super. So one final question from my end, Saugata. You know, you have, like you mentioned, in the last year or so, Nippon has come out with a series of index funds. And so you have a large, mid, small, mid cap, all of it, right? So where do you think currently is the value for investors? And where do you see, I mean, where will you put your personal money currently?
Babu, my team, and whenever I go, when I used to go and meet partners in open forums also, my one line, India is a country which has just moved from small cap to just about touching the mid cap. India is a mid cap story. Now, if one has to participate in the market, it is pure mid cap and small cap, which is the opportunity in India today. Large caps will remain as part of your risk-adjusted return strategy. But I think mid caps is the space, and there is a lot of action happening there. Kindly keep reading what's happening from the government, from RBI, from the various policymakers. I think there is going to be a big sort of a outburst of activities which are going to happen, and we'll not be able to catch the trend if we just narrow down our focus on one part of the sector or one part of the economy. The broad-based economic movement is happening very, very rapidly. And hence, I think my own personal money, 70% of my money is in my growth fund. And we are really proud about that fund. And I am really proud about the mid-cap story in India.
On that note, we will kind of divide it among all the three segments of the market, so to say. And thank you so much, Mr. Saugata, for your wisdom on, especially on passive funds, and so patiently answering to all the questions. And look forward to meeting.
Very much. Thank you very much, Babu. I really enjoy and cherish the coffee, and I miss that, which I will be definitely coming and having next time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Friends, I should tell you, after listening to Mr. Saugata's presentation, we all are going to be actively marketing passive funds. Yes? Yes, that was really very interesting, and so much of information about passive funds and their impact on the portfolio he had to share. Thank you so much, Mr. Saugata Chatterjee. Thanks a lot, sir.